So how did we write the song, Give Me a Sign? So Give Me a Sign was the first song that I ever worked on with Francesco, and this was a song that we actually co-wrote together. Now when you first co-write with someone, it can always be a little bit tense and awkward, especially if you're meeting that person for the first time. And after a good lunch, we were just thrashing out some more ideas, feeling a little bit more comfortable, when suddenly a very happy accident happened. So we have these chords, except for I accidentally went to the keyboard and ended up playing, and that formed the main riff of Give Me a Sign. Now, usually when I write songs, I tend to do a melody first and then the lyrics come. But once we have this little riff established, we kept looping it and Francesco's adding some beats alongside it. And I just found myself really singing a stream of consciousness. So I was still grieving the death of my mother, but I was not really in the mood to write something very harrowing and sad. I was really looking to find something cathartic. And so I found myself literally singing the things that were plaguing my mind at the time. And we started off with this loop, but at first I was sort of going, life, oh, it's this funny thing. But then Francesco just suddenly said, why don't you go up? Why don't you go, life, oh, it's this funny thing called life. From that moment on, the whole tone changed. It was like suddenly there was a lift, and it took the song from this sad place to a place that was a bit more life-affirming. And as we progressed, we thought the chorus needed to be killer, it needed to be big, it needed to be like stadium kind of level of bigness. And we were sort of riffing the la 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 la, but there were still no lyrics. And so I spent the following morning writing these lyrics by the pool, which felt very kind of an antithesis to really what the song felt like, which was like almost like big dramatic crashing waves and drama around it. And so I ended up writing these lyrics in which I really expressed this feeling of wanting to ask the universe, is there something greater than what we can see and feel? And I found myself writing, why don't you give me a sign like the sea that leaves a trail along the shore?
Why don't you give me a sign like the sea that leaves a trail along the shore?
Much like if a spirit shows its presence, you don't necessarily see how it happened, see how it works, you just know their presence. And like the sea, you know that the tides come down, and you know you can see the trail along the sand, but you haven't really necessarily seen the sea creep up itself, but you know it's happening. And that was me processing my grief, but also wanting to feel the presence of my own life, and the feeling of being alive, the feeling of knowing that I was still here and that we're all somehow connected.
'Cause it makes me feel